Yeah, well, I made all my money the old-fashioned way. I was born with it. Bet you feel pretty stupid now knowing that's an option, huh? So there's a saying that says generational wealth runs out in 3 generations.
Okay.
I'm the 3rd generation. So there used to be so much more money, but now it's like been split, and then there's divorces, and then there's, siblings. And I grew up thinking, I probably won't even need to work. And now I'm like, oh no, like this is, this is.
Yeah.
That's not the position to be in.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work.
Family brings joy, childhood destroyed. Tammy's boy. Hey, it's Tammy's boy.
Tammy's Boy Podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. John Carden is not a licensed therapist. He is just a friend.
Hey, welcome on in, everybody. Welcome to another little comfortable episode of Tammy's Boy. Grab your drink and your snacks because we're about to talk about our folks. So, but before we do, how about a little word from my buddy, our producer, Mr. Cole Garrett.
Tammy's kids, how the hell are we doing today? We got another great one for you, and it's coming at you right now. The full video is going to be available on YouTube and Spotify. Please make sure that you go like, comment, subscribe on wherever you're watching it, because we got a lot of crazy stories coming your way in the following weeks, but we can't do it without your support. Also, if you guys have any crazy stories about your parents, family, relatives, aunts, uncles, email them to us. You can email us at tammy'sboypodcast@gmail.com, and we will read them on the air, sometimes with a guest. Guys, that's enough out of me. John, who the hell do we got on the couch today?
That's my favorite part. This is my favorite part. I've made fun of it so many times now.
Yeah.
It's literally my favorite part. Today!
It's very old school radio.
That's
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a game show, right?
Yeah.
Like $1,000 Pyramid or something?
Yeah.
Like, we're here to play $1,000 Pyramid today!
Who's in the suitcase?
Yeah.
It's also like a consistency thing, Everyone goes to McDonald's because they're going to get the same thing every time.
Yeah, Cole, we know what we're getting from you, dude. We're getting 1950s cheese.
Absolutely.
You're a wholesome boy, dude.
That's what I'm here for, ladies and
You
gentlemen.
do look like you would take Betty Lou to the sock hop. You know what I mean? You look like...
If she said yes.
You look the pride of French Lick, Indiana. Like, you're their guy. You would be a politician
French Lick, Indiana.
in French Lick, Indiana.
I could probably get some votes there.
Absolutely.
I
You
could
could be
probably
mayor.
swing some.
You
Yeah.
be mayor of French Lick by the end of the week.
Mustache alone, yeah.
Maybe.
I believe in you.
I appreciate it. And whenever I decide to start campaigning, you guys will be the first ones to know, okay? Because we're going to need all the help we can get on that.
All right, Tammy's kids.
Well, I'm Andrew Tarr.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. All right, Tammy's kids.
These intros
This is
keep
this
getting longer.
part. Hey, Tammy's kids. No, today, guys, we have a really good friend of mine. He's been on the road with me. I think he's a fantastic comic and a pretty cool human being. It's Andrew Tarr.
Hey, everybody.
What's up, buddy?
Just chilling. Thanks for having me.
Welcome on in.
Tarr was in the car with me when I ran out of gas. I had 0 miles left on the tank, and we were
the number said 0.
yeah, and we were at least 12 miles from a gas station, and I was like, dude, we got nothing to do at this point but just pray. Just pray.
And we were at a gas station earlier. You just didn't get gas.
I just didn't get gas. I literally pulled in to get gas, but I was arguing with somebody, and I completely spaced the gas because, arguments, they take priority. I have to be right.
Of course.
Like, me being right is more important than me walking 12 miles down a highway with a gas can. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there.
Sounds like some deflection, I hear.
Colt, you're starting to sound a lot like Max.
Sorry about that. Got to keep you on track.
You got any plans for Valentine's Day?
No.
None.
No. Maybe a show if I get booked on one, but, I'm not seeing anybody right now, so I've got no plans.
I'm going to be in Fort Worth with Big J for Valentine's Day.
Oh,
So
way to rub that in, huh?
I've got my Valentine.
Yeah, I'm just going to be featuring for one of the biggest working comics.
I mean, it's not new. I've been doing this for that's where most people know me from.
Yeah.
It's from opening for him. I've been doing it for 5, almost 6, or maybe 7 years now.
Yeah, I'll be stuck in Austin because of the Austin Marathon, so all the streets will be blocked off that Sunday.
Dude, I'm supposed to go support Joe Bagley. I know this is going to sound wild. I really want to be there when he crosses the finish line. I do.
He's running the marathon?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to give him shit.
Yeah, you're running it too?
No, I don't like marathon runners. They're blocking the traffic and they can go run somewhere else.
They go run right to hell.
Fuck your marathon, dude.
Yeah.
He goes, like, man, I don't give a damn about your personal achievement. I got to get up 35.
Yeah, there's 10 miles of running trail around Town Lake, and they run 0 of that. They specifically picked streets to block off.
Oh, man, that is such an autistic thing to get mad about.
I hate it when people block traffic, man. There's no reason for it. There's no reason for it.
Fuck your protest, dude. I don't give a shit about Ukraine. Get out of the road.
Yeah.
I got to get to Duncan.
You want to reach people when they're open-minded, and that is not stuck in traffic when it comes to protesting.
You know what? That logically, you are 100% right.
Yeah.
100% right. Logically.
If it worked for changing people's minds, that is how Mormons would be.
Yeah, right? That's how Jehovah's Witnesses begin to
Yeah,
day.
if blocking traffic really worked to like help people see your side, Mormons, Jehovah's Witnesses, like that's how.
No, instead they come to your door when you're most comfortable.
Yeah, and they dress nice and they knock and they go, "Hey, do you want to?" Like they ask, you know.
But also, random people at my door make me uncomfortable.
Yeah, do not like that.
It's definitely outdated because it used to be you could just knock on people's doors and they were cool with that. But now, you know, with phones and everything, we want people to call before they just show up.
Yeah.
I knew I had a friend of mine, Raquel, and she was a very, very, very good stripper.
Yeah.
Like one of the best in Phoenix at one of the most exclusive clubs. And she was tattooed up, just gorgeous, gorgeous woman. She lived across the street from a Jehovah temple and a Latter-day Saints temple. And so, buddy, they hit her every day. And then one day she went to the door butt naked. And the Jehovah's
Witnessed.
they witnessed, but they like ran away. The Mormons, they stayed. The Mormons were like, "Yo, do we have to leave? I don't know if you know the way we do wives."
Yeah. Yeah.
But girl, we'll add you to the stable if you just agree to wear some special underwears and quit drinking caffeine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can overlook the tattoos, baby girl. But yeah, she got witnessed to almost every day until she did that, and then they just left her alone.
Yeah.
Like, that was genius. Also, you might want to look at where you're buying a house, Lucifer.
Yeah.
You evil wench.
It is. I've never heard somebody be described as the best stripper.
Hold on. Here's the way I view stripping, okay? Because I worked at a metal strip club for a little bit, and I view it as an erotic hospitality consultant. That's the job, okay? You are there to give someone hospitality with an erotic fashion.
Yeah.
Right? And there are levels to that. How comfortable you can make someone, how aroused you can get them quickly.
Yeah.
It is an art. It truly is. And I don't know. I'm not one to talk shit about art. I think everyone should be able to enjoy whatever art they want to enjoy. But I do believe that there's something to be said about, you know, being the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like the punchline at the poll? I'm doing it in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Buddy, I mean, it's insane what they do.
Oh yeah. It's like physically.
Yeah, it's truly like it's almost a sport. I think it is. Like pole dancing might be a sport.
Yeah.
In there.
I can't wait for that to hit the Olympics. Fucking Paris 2030, baby. Strip Olympics.
That sounds like something Idiocracy did.
Yeah.
This is the Olympics 500 years from now.
It's just pole dancing.
Strippers.
Yeah.
They should
That's
throw
so
that
funny.
into the Winter Olympics because Winter Olympics, man, boring. Nothing going
buddy,
on there.
I don't
That
know.
would draw some eyes.
I watched the luge or whatever it was last night. Dude, these chicks were going 73 miles an hour across ice on a sled, you know, made of their body.
Listen, that one is cool.
I'm a huge curling fan.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Curling
wow.
is like the most anxiety-ridden sport. Like it really does.
I
You're
just think
watching it.
the sweeping is
Yeah,
funny.
I agree. I think I could be really good at that. If there was a sport, though, yeah, that would probably
Yeah.
be it.
Dude, have you ever watched a dart tournament?
Darts?
Yeah.
No.
Oh man, it can be electric in there.
Yeah, they're like splitting the dart.
I don't know. First off, they're not Robin Hood. They're not men of the cloth. You know what I mean? They're not from Loxley. They're throwing darts. You know, the thing you do in a bar.
Yeah.
And
You said competition. I imagine they're good.
yeah, I don't think they're like that. You know what? Look
Like
it up.
watching amateur darts.
Look it up, Colt. Has anybody ever split a dart? And let Andrew.
Absolutely, it's
I'm
happened
sure
before.
that's probably happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
but we need verifiable proof.
I mean, darts typically aren't made of something that like it can stick with, like wood. So like maybe it bounces off of it, but
Yeah.
it's for sure happened before.
I feel like my Google is going to judge me for asking this question.
Buddy, Google has judged you for way more than this.
You know, it's bad whenever the first thing that comes up is Reddit. It means you're like off to,
Yeah.
you're off the
Why is that
beaten path.
bad? Sometimes I view that as good. I'm like, oh, I'll actually get the answer.
I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
never been a big Redditor.
I tell you what, when the CDC and everybody else was cooking facts about a lot of diseases that were going on in the world, Reddit was the only one actually spitting out the real facts about what the numbers actually were.
Darts nuts.
Found darts nuts.
Oh, Darts Nuts is the most. This is.
It's
That
a
one's probably-
chat board for darts.
Yeah, that's probably up to date. It says, hello, fellow nuts.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of publication that I want to reference.
Yeah, is this
This right here, Darts Nuts.
I'm a
this satisfies, right?
top darts nuts contributor.
We got off on a weird rabbit hole here.
Yeah.
I didn't expect a website to come up. It says Darts Nuts, but here we are.
Asking
Improve,
shower
share, and talk darts.
It sounds like one of the strippers you were talking about.
Darts Nuts.
This is darts nuts.
Jesus, Darth Vader's dad. Darth Nuts. He got mom pregnant from across the room. He used the force. His nuts were huge. Oh man. Okay, well, speaking of nuts and the force and getting someone pregnant from across the room, let's ask the question. We always start this off real simply.
Yeah.
It's just who raised you.
Bryn and Paul. Those are my parents' names.
Your mom's name is Bryn?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a pretty name.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
cool.
nice.
It's interesting.
Every scam caller always thought it was Brian, so they always thought I had two dads.
Brian and Paul.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My dad was a real estate agent, and my mom worked in fashion / like costuming for a while. Now she just does a bunch of like Comic-Con cosplay stuff.
Like costuming for like what? Just any.
There was like just you go to Party City and there's just all these costumes and stuff. She worked for a company
Gotcha.
that supplied those costumes,
Right.
and then like after that just started making them herself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did she wear them?
Awesome.
She wears some of them, but she mostly makes them for my brother. She like made one for me one time. I was Geralt from The Witcher 3, if you know who that is.
We familiar.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so for
Shout out to Henry
Comic-Con,
Cavill.
they had a masquerade where we got to perform a skit in front of like 5,000 people, and so my mom worked 9 months to make this costume for me, and I came up with a skit in like 2 days. Because he's like, okay, well, he kills monsters. How about for the skit, we have him kill Sully from Monsters Inc. And I pull out his head in front of the stage, and it's just Sully's head and guts and stuff. And that got like like the groan laughs. And we won an award for the skit, but not the costume. So my mom was pretty upset that my stupid sketch.
Your 2-day skit beat her 9-month costume.
Oh yeah,
I bet she was hot, dude.
Oh.
I can't imagine having a mom that would spend 9 months of anything. My mom didn't spend 9 months making me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She didn't have coke to get me out early. That's crazy. You had a mom that spent 9 months making. Did she do stuff like that for you all the time growing up? Was she like thoughtful like that?
She did. Yeah. Like when we were babies, she made our stroller look like a pirate ship, and my little brother and I were like little pirates.
Dude, I
Yeah.
love your mom.
Yeah. I got pictures.
Oh yeah, you got to show me after that. We'll add them. We'll throw them up.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah. What do you think your mom did that was like that made her so special? That made her cool.
Oh, I mean the costuming thing. She also just has a good sense of humor, and to see somebody like put that kind of work into their kids, it's like, oh yeah, I was loved.
Yeah. Do you think she like invested her time in you?
Oh yeah.
I think what's cool is that she loved to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So she invested her time in you doing something that she loved.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool. A cool thing that parents can do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I had a friend that was a cyclist and like a downhill, like mountain bike, sponsored by Cannondale. And then, you know, his son came up, and as soon as his son was on a bike, could ride a bike, he was with his dad all the time.
Yeah.
And they're doing that together. It's a shared interest, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What about you? Your dad was a real estate agent. Was he around a lot, or was he like?
He was definitely busy a lot, but he had a home office.
Okay.
Like after 2008. So he was home a bunch, got called Mr. Mom a lot because he like drove us to the bus stop and stuff, and did like a lot of the errands while my mom had a full-time job.
Was your dad a sports dad?
No, he was a music guy.
Okay.
I got zero sports indoctrination into me. San Diego, the Padres didn't really do a lot. The Chargers have moved to Los Angeles. So
yeah. It was surfing.
I was more inland. I was like an hour from the beach. And just when you don't have a car, you just can't. There's no public transit in San Diego.
Oh, I know.
Really.
Yeah, there's none. Yeah. You got to take a scooter pretty much everywhere. I've been there.
And that's if you're in the city. That's not if you're inland. Scooters don't make it 2,000
don't
feet.
make it.
Yeah.
Nah, scooters don't make it 10 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So it was like isolated. It's definitely like a quiet place.
okay.
To grow up, but I could have used more people around. That would have been good.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
One older brother, two younger sisters.
Okay. So you weren't completely isolated. You had, family.
Yeah. But I mean, it was just like us. My dad had some really good years leading up to 2008, and then the big old crash happened.
Yeah.
So we were house rich, but then lifestyle poor.
Okay.
So after 2008, we quickly switched to like Costco chicken nuggets, and that became like a staple.
So like you guys had like a nice house, but you guys were living like
He had one built.
Oh wow.
So we built this like big old house and this like big old property, and we had like horses and dogs and stuff like that. And
so you had like an estate.
Basically, yeah. It's a big house.
Situation. Nice.
But I mean now like
You were like a little lord.
yeah. But then if something broke, it's like that's it.
Yeah.
You do have a little lord look about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you really did. If you were like 3 inches shorter,
Joffrey.
I was thinking Lord Farquhar, but sure.
Yeah.
Sure, Joffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go with the one that shoots a chick with a crossbow.
You know,
Or
the one that
tries to
bangs
kill
everybody.
Shrek.
That one's me.
That's wild, man. So do they still live there?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they doing better now?
No, not really. Like about the same. Now my dad's come to the realization of like, okay, this is kind of the money that's left.
Okay.
How do I make this last and still
Okay.
like have something to leave for my kids? And
Is he still working?
sort of. I mean, he's 68 years old now, so
Your parents were older when you were born,
yeah.
so they had to be like in their like 30s.
Yeah, my dad was 36 when he had me, and my mom was like turning 33.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So definitely on the older side. And, my dad thought the paperwork in 2002 was a lot for real estate. Now it's, Instagram and Reels. Like he's never going to figure that out.
He's never going to catch up. Yeah. It's
a whole new ball game.
the
now.
way houses are sold now is completely different than the way they were. Used to be the sign outside would sell the house.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's 6 different apps that are competing
I mean, that's
for
like
that.
pre-Zillow, probably.
But there's Zillow, there's Redfin, there's Realtor. You know what I mean? There's several apps. Craigslist, Marketplace. I've seen houses for sale on fucking Marketplace.
Yeah. My dad was selling houses before the .com boom and in 2000, so he had like a couple of real estate websites that he ended up selling.
Yeah, Zillow wasn't created till 2006.
Yeah, I mean it was before all of that, and small town realtor, so a lot of his business was like word of mouth and
And also like newspapers were a big thing back then, and like
phone books.
phone books. And there was another thing. Like, do you remember they used to like Thrifty Nickels and that kind of shit? Like, there's like a penny newspaper publication in almost every town that had like classifieds.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of realtors that would advertise through those. I was doing a show in Phoenix a couple years ago, and I asked a guy what he did, and he goes, "I'm a realtor." If anybody needs a house, and just starts his pitch right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's how you know this guy's a real realtor.
Yeah.
Nice. I
Any
respect it.
opportunity
Never
you can.
sleeps.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just grind, dude. Grind. I'll send you that clip. It's really funny.
Yeah.
I have to find it. It's crazy.
John ends up buying a house from him. He's underwater.
No, I'd never buy a house from this piece of shit. He interrupted my comedy show with a pitch.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wrong time, buddy.
Yeah. Do it after the show. All right. Hold on. Wait, I know you're enjoying the episode. Just give us just a minute. We just had a quick thing we want to tell you about. First off, if you're watching the episode and you're liking it, thank you so much. We love you. Keep watching. We're almost done. Just make sure if you've got the time, go hit that subscribe button, like, comment, do all the things you got to do to make us the best podcast that, we're trying to be. I believe Colt has one more thing he wants to tell you.
Guys, I got some big news, okay? The big news is that John and I are coming up with a whole new show. We already have it all put together, but we need your help to do it. The name of the show is Who's Your Tammy, where we're going to have you guys, our loyal fans, write into the show. Tell us about your crazy childhoods, good and bad. What'd your parents do? Did they not feed you? Did they feed you too much? Did you have good Christmases, bad Christmases? Tell us all about it. Email us at tammy'sboypodcast@gmail.com, and we will read your stories on the air, and we'll break them down.
Feel free. If you want to keep it anonymous, keep it anonymous. You don't have to tell us your name. Your identity can remain a complete secret. But your stories, that's what we want. So please, send us those stories. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the episode. What's your relationship like with your brothers and sisters?
We all get along great.
You guys are all nerds?
Oh yeah. So this is the fun dynamic. Both of my parents were complete degenerates growing up, and then they turned it around.
Oh, okay. So they were like partiers.
Yeah, and they thought, man, all of our karma is going to come back, and our kids are going to be crazy, and they raised 4 dorks.
Yeah. I would never call you a dork. I call you a nerd.
Oh, dude, it's like in my older brother, he's more autistic, and so they're like, okay, well, he's having the social problems and stuff like that. So Andrew must be the popular one. I'm like, no, it's both of us. We're both.
No. I smelled my gym teacher's hand today. I'm not doing well.
Yeah, it's bad. I was depressed and stuff. I was a emo and stole my sister's straightener and everything in high school.
Oh, man. I bet a big titty goth bitch hate to see you coming.
Oh, dude, I knocked one out by accident. I got pushed into her and our heads collided.
What concert?
Walking to class.
Wait, that wasn't the band?
That was in high school. Yeah, that was just me walking to class.
I thought the band was walking to class.
No. I was going to 5th period, and there was a big group of people. I jokingly pushed my friend and went mosh pit. I pushed him a little, but then he pushed me, and then he pushed me into somebody, shoved me, and then our heads collided. She hit the ground, and then I was concussed. And, thankfully she was also 6'2" and 300 pounds. So this was a big.
She was an inside linebacker for the Bears?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm just glad.
I think that's the size of Khalil Mack.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was big. And I'm thankfully, if I got pushed into somebody that was 100 pounds.
Yeah, you would have killed them.
Yeah. She had whiplash in her neck. Yeah. Cause she got blindsided by a headbutt. And this is a big head.
Apparently traveling by the force of God.
Yeah.
I don't know what palmed you from the back of the head, but something, the Holy Spirit grabbed you.
Yeah.
Just 2 goth kids just hanging out on the ground.
It took 6 firemen to they basically mummified her to the stretcher, and then they picked her up. And
so this was a traumatic moment.
She was out.
I got a concussion, but her head also hit the ground.
And how exactly did that happen?
I got pushed into her.
But by who?
Was that a normal occurrence for you? I just have to ask.
Dude, I was flying.
Regular basis being pushed into people, or was this an outlier event?
Oh, this was an outlier. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I only knocked out somebody by accident one time. This was not a regular occurrence.
Could you imagine They're like, here comes Andrew the Billy Goat Tarr. He's gonna ram you in the head. Get ready.
Yeah.
He goes after the big ones.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I was only used as a weapon one time.
A battering ram, so to speak.
Basically, yeah.
Man, that poor girl. Do you know what happened to her? Like, do you know if she's doing okay now, or she's eating potatoes? Or
I mean, I know after the incident, like, recovery and nothing, no long lasting damage. But what she's doing now, I haven't talked to her in like 13 years, 14 years.
we
Keep in
need
touch
we need
after
a
that.
Where Are They Now headbutt chick.
Yeah.
I bet she's lost all the weight. I have no doubt.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no doubt, dude. Or she's like the captain of the rugby team for the USA.
That's very possible too.
Who
And
knows?
that was her moment too. Maybe you did a full transition. Maybe this is like a good thing,
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah. Or maybe she's, had a change and she's an inside linebacker for the Bears.
That's true.
We don't know. We don't know who she is.
Yeah,
dude.
join like a woman's roller derby.
Oh, dude. 6'2", 300. That's whew.
That's a mobile home for sure.
Yeah, that's a fucking tank on wheels.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So did you notice before 2008, you said that they were doing good. I'm sure at that time, whenever shit started hit the fan, could you and all the kids really feel that? Like, were you aware of what was going on, or was it kind of hid from you a little bit?
I mean, I noticed it like with like the meals and just like the day-to-day stuff. But I mean, when you're a kid growing up, all you know is how you live at home. And,
Yeah.
I still had like a nicer house than most people.
Yeah. Still had horses.
I mean, buddy, your idea of the struggle was Costco chicken nuggets.
yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
Okay. The
But hey,
second you
what-
said that, I'm like, dude, I ate shit from the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ate potted meat on saltine crackers.
Oh, yeah.
But you weren't
yeah.
doing as well as they were previously.
I would
you know?
go to
So
a
it's
friend's
different.
house and they would get Domino's and I would be like, oh, this is cool. Because like we just never ate out, never
Right.
went to fast food. It was all frozen stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah. Mother, these juice boxes, they taste a bit rancid.
yeah.
Why do we only have 4 ponies now?
What happened to my
we
elder
do
pony?
have ponies. Yeah, my mom's a horse girl,
Mother,
so
my watch collection looks a little light. Where's my second Rolex?
Where's the bling, as they say?
Oh man. I don't mean to make too much fun of it. But we were poor. we were poor. I'm not trying to flex on you.
Oh,
You know?
no.
It's
I
not that.
definitely
It's not
definitely
like-
had it better than most.
Yeah, it's not like we were more poor than you. I'm not trying to fucking do that because
Yeah.
why would you try to one up anybody about that? But yeah,
So-
some people do though. Isn't that crazy?
So yeah.
It's like the poor Olympics.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you were more poor than me. I lived in a dishwasher box. And they're like, oh, you had a dishwasher. You know what I mean? It's like that Deadpool thing. But
Yeah.
it's
That's
that.
like struggle. Like people compare, everyone wants to like justify their own feelings, or they feel like they need to justify
Yeah.
like how they feel about something when in all actuality, it's just those are your feelings. No
I
matter
used
what it
to-
has affected you.
I used to make up softer struggles that I went through because I didn't think people could swallow what I actually went through.
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean? Or things that like validated who I wanted to be rather than who I was.
Yeah, well, I
do you
made
got on
all
that,
my
Andrew?
money the old-fashioned way. I was born with it.
Put your fucking pinky finger up.
Bet you feel pretty stupid now knowing that's an option, huh?
Oh, listen, of the two of us, one of us was actually a successful drug dealer. So let's go ahead and remember what poverty did there. Okay. I know how to count in grams.
He learned the metric system at a young age.
Yeah, brother. Don't forget who you talking to. You know what I mean?
So there's a saying that says generational wealth runs out in 3 generations.
Okay.
I'm the 3rd generation. So there used to be so much more money.
Your dad had it so good.
Well, so it's from way before. It's really old money.
Okay.
It's like 1890 Chicago. They figured out how to move grain on rail. Like they revolutionized that and then moved to Beverly Hills like in the 50s.
Oh, wow. So you come from like money.
Like old rail money. And they sold their company before the Great Depression for $15 million. And that's back then. So it used to be that.
Whoa, yeah.
And then my dad got to enjoy that. but now it's like you've been split, and then there's divorces, and then there's, you know, siblings, and, you know, so now I'm like, I grew up thinking, oh, I probably won't even need to work. And now I'm like, oh no, like this is, this is.
Yeah.
That's not the position to be in.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work.
And I'm like, then I would meet other people where it's like, they're like, oh yeah, my dad got me a job. I'm like, oh yeah, like my dad he could teach me real estate, I guess, but this is it.
Yeah, I'm not working for him.
Outdated real estate.
Yeah, I could be my mom's model.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that was like a couple. That was like a couple $100. That's it.
Oh man, I was Mega Man for 2 months.
Yeah,
That's great, dude. Hey, what's the coolest costume you've seen your mom make so far?
I mean the Geralt of Rivia one was really good,
But not award-winning good.
not award winning. No, she also sold if you're familiar with the Elder Scrolls series, Argonians.
Okay.
They're like a lizard people. And she would sell these helmets. And the game came out in 2011. So like for a while it was big. And then it just kept selling and selling.
Morrowind, Oblivion.
So this was Skyrim, the fifth
Skyrim,
in the series. Yeah. So she kept making these helmets and people like kept buying them. And it's been like 10, 15 years after the fact. And we're like, why are these still selling? It turns out there's scalies.
Wait, are they like furries?
But lizards. So people were buying my mom's costume helmets.
Look it up, brother.
We're on it.
And I don't want to see, but I'm gonna.
Here, I'll go to Reddit for this one.
Oh yeah, please. A scaly?
Yeah. Scalies versus furries.
My son is a tortoise.
Or a chameleon. I guess I have two. Are the reptiles still considered part of the furry community?
Of course, furry is an umbrella term. They're like, come on in, you little cold-blooded bitch. Sit down under that heat lamp. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go pee on this fire hydrant. I'll be back in a minute with some treats. Yeah. What do you like, flies?
It's a separate subforum just in case you want to be with nothing but scalies. But
Listen,
they're okay here.
I try not to hate on parents, okay? But you have to acknowledge as a parent that if you've raised a scaly or a furry, that you have gone horribly fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Like that you have gone, something has gone astray.
But they have money. They're not cheap helmets.
But why? Why, for the love of God?
Yes, rich kids always turn out better.
It's like... You know, it's like that Jeff Goldblum term, you know, the Jeff Goldblum thing in Jurassic Park. When your scientists was thinking, could we? Did they think, should we?
Yeah.
Okay? When your child was sticking their tongue out a bunch, you think they could be weird, but should you have told them that they could possibly be a scaly? No.
The school lunch is just a live rat.
I thought he was going for
That's hilarious.
I thought he was going for the Goldblum quote of, wow, that's one big pile of shit.
I mean, is this what leash parenting leads to? I don't understand. Like the
leash parenting leading to furries?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wonder if there's
Maybe.
a connection.
Maybe.
And here's the thing. I understand. I'm never going to hate on you leash parents. I don't care if it turns your kids into furries because I understand something about that leash that most people don't understand. That leash is not for you. That leash is not for that child. That leash is for me. Okay? That leash is to keep me away from your rabid fucking child that still bites at 6 years old. And I appreciate you for it.
Yeah.
Okay? I understand that is a force field that keeps me away from a weird child. Props. Kudos. But also, there might be some side effects. You know what I mean? I don't think your 16-year-old going on a date, you should be worried about her coming home with fucking parvo. You know? Like, oh, shit, I hope she doesn't catch rabies tonight. You should be worried about herpes and syphilis. You shouldn't be worried about them being collar trained.
Well, also, like, one of the things that I've thought about in regards to just furries, one of my best friends, she has a kid and she's like 3 years old or so, and she's going through that phase, starting to talk and, you know, really form personality. But, you know, she's a little kid. She's basically a baby. And so she's going through a phase where she, like, you know, thinks she's a dog. She acts like a dog and, like, stuff like that. Which, you know, I feel like isn't that crazy like 10 years ago, but she's freaking out because she's like, this thing needs to end because I will not have my child be a furry. So it kind of is like, where's the
Well, here's
line?
the thing. I believe that old Chinese proverb where the path of avoidance is often the path to collision, right? So the more you avoid the problem, the more you're going to end up colliding with it in the end. So I think you have to handle it fucking head on.
We need more leashes.
No, here's
She
the
needs
thing.
more leashes.
Here's the thing. For my kid, you want to be a dog? Cool. Let's go to the vet. Let's go. You want a dog? I'm going to microchip your ass. Okay? We're going to go. I want you to have the full pet experience, baby.
Oh, the full pack of cigarettes of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a house up, a dog house. You're going to eat all your food out of a fucking bowl. You want to be a dog? Cool. I want you to be the best boy in the whole damn world. You're going to be a good girl. You're going to be a good girl. We're going to lean in, dude. I'm going to fucking get a shot collar. Let her talk back. You're a dog now. You're a dog, girl.
Shove their head in the toilet. You don't piss inside, you piss outside.
Whoa. That's abuse.
What are we doing here?
Go play with the fetch machine.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Lock them outside for a couple hours.
We're going on vacation. You guys are getting into cages and go staying with the neighbors.
I'm going to board them. You think I'm kidding? Nah, you're getting boarded, dude. Enjoy sleeping next to a Cocker Spaniel that pees all through the night.
Here's your litter box.
Here's your litter box.
You got to clean it too.
Meow, 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 meow.
So your mom sold a lot of helmets. That's good.
Yeah. Now we find out why those were popular.
That's good.
That got me on a rant.
Now, once that information was found out, paying customers, paying customer. She started cranking out more of them. She's like, oh, we got.
Well, she slowed down on it only because they take a lot of work and they're already expensive, and the amount of money where it would need to make sense, it'd have to be even more expensive.
Right.
Like, these were like $400
Sure.
helmets, and they would have to be more just for how long it takes.
Did you get any physical artistic abilities from your mom that you see?
That got everybody but me and my family. My little sisters can both draw and paint. My older brother's good with 3D modeling and stuff on computers, and I can tell jokes. That's my artistic ability. And I used to play guitar, but that's about it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Did you get that from your dad?
Yeah, he played and he had a giant record collection. So that was.
What's your dad's type of music?
Oh,
Okay.
Eagles. Van Halen.
Yeah, Janis Joplin.
Yeah, Deep Purple.
Yeah. Van Halen, wow.
He was at the California Jam, I think, in 1974.
Wow.
Yeah. Just got his driver's license.
Your dad saw Jimmy Page play live. That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's not Jimmy Page. That's Eddie Van Halen. Jimmy Page was Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. Wow. My dad would have smacked the shit out of me if he heard me confuse Jimmy Page for Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
It's a big hand.
Yeah. My dad was 6'9" and he weighed about 310.
6'9"?
320 pounds.
I'm taller than both of my parents.
Oh, that's crazy.
My dad's 5'9" and my mom's 5'4".
Are you the tallest of your siblings? You the biggest?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you ever get in fights with your brother, fist fights?
Nothing crazy. I hit him a couple times. I definitely bullied him a lot because he was autistic and smaller than me.
Your older brother?
Yeah.
You made your older brother your bitch?
Basically. I feel bad about it now because he just has social deficits.
Yeah.
Sure you didn't help with that.
No, it didn't.
Go talk to that wall.
Because so I would get bullied and then I would take that out on him and then he would get bullied at school. So
poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy.
Not great.
What does he do now?
He's learning CNC machining.
What is that?
It's you use a computer to tell a machine to drill metal.
Okay. So it's kind of like drafting in a way, or more like 3D printing kind of.
So he does a lot of 3D printing and stuff. He has so he was always book smart, but he's not street smart.
Okay. Yeah.
So in school, he always did really well, but figuring out how to live life outside of school, he's really struggled with that.
Yeah. And I was always the opposite. I was more street smart than book smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that's so important because he always got great grades, but then it's just all right, well, now what do you do? And then now with AI, it's all right, well, I really don't know what you're going to do.
I think, I realized when I was, I think, younger that there's people that are smart enough to know that there's nothing good that comes from, being popular or being social. And those people were always viewed as outcasts or whatever. but I always kind of looked at them as smart. And I looked at myself the same way, where it's like sometimes it's just smarter to stay away from the crowd.
Yeah.
Because the mob can turn so quickly.
Yeah.
It can turn so quickly. I mean, look at what's happened in politics. You know what I mean? Like the mob turns, dude. And so I just always had this like kind of awareness where I liked being around people, but I didn't necessarily like being associated,
Yeah.
you know, unless it was somebody that kind of benefited me in some way.
Yeah.
And then that was it. But yeah, I think that some people, they're looked at as like isolators or, you know, they can't connect socially. But some people are just smart enough not to.
Yeah, I'd say that this wasn't a choice.
No, he was born into this.
No, like he's very likable. He has like a SpongeBob energy about him.
Oh, man.
Like when he was working at Einstein Bagels, people were like, "Why are you happy?" He's just like,
He's like, I'm ready to serve your bagels.
yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
He's got like a bubbly personality, but he just, you know, he found it more comfortable to just stay home and play video games, and you know,
Is he really good at video games?
was for certain ones, yeah. He's
Yeah.
like trying to like that's his addiction. He's
Okay.
never drank.
But he'll play video games for 10 to 12 hours at a time.
Oh, he can. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend like that. It was World of Warcraft. And the second he got off work till the time he went to bed, he was on World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
He met all of his friends through there. He met his chick through there.
You see, we used to make fun of that, but now all the in-person ways to
Yeah.
meet people are disappearing.
Yeah, after COVID really did change society in such a crazy way.
Yeah.
It destroyed food. Let's just go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah.
It destroyed late night food.
Yeah, 100%.
Late night food used to rip before COVID. Now it fucking sucks. There's no options, and all the options are just not great.
Yeah. Costco got rid of their Works pizza, and I'm still pissed about that.
Fucking Costco.
I love it. You used to be able to get a pepperoni and sausage pizza 18 inches for $10.
Yeah.
Hey, that was feeding his family during the recession.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
mean-
got sentimental value to Costco.
Listen,
Costco
he's
saved
he's
his
like,
life.
wasn't it for those samples, I wouldn't have been able to wear my Link costume.
My Link costume.
I wouldn't be able to dress as the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother did that.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I had no doubts that one of you fucking nerds went after the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I was always Luigi and he was Mario.
Was he shorter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 5'6".
Yeah, my brother was smaller than me. I always felt for him because we had different dads. And I've got this like Viking warlord of a father.
Yeah.
And his dad's like 6 foot 220.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like a regular dude.
I mean, 6 foot 220 is still a big dude, but you just had a giant
I
father.
just had a giant father. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad used to say he stands like 6 foot flat just to be demeaning because like my dad had tall lingo.
Yeah.
But he would talk about like the short people.
Yeah.
I loved it. He called them ankle biters if they were only a certain height.
Yeah.
Yeah, knee nibblers. He had so many. Yeah, hip huggers.
Yeah, my dad had a friend who was like 6 foot, like 5'6", like much bigger than me. And then he would bully me because he saw me bullying my brother.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. He was like, he's like, hey, you don't like this? Yeah, he doesn't like that.
They had to bring in an outside force.
Yeah. You know, I definitely appreciate it.
Have you ever heard the story of Wilt Chamberlain when he's in an elevator and I think the guy looks up at him and goes, "How's the weather up there?" And Wilt spits like a huge loogie on him and goes, "It's raining."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite stories. My dad told me that as a kid. Dude, I remember one time I went with my dad. I don't talk about my dad much on this pod, but me and my dad went to the airport one time to see my aunt. And I think I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old. And we were at, I think it was Greensboro or RDU. And it was the first time, like I'd seen Asian people for sure. But I think it's the first time I ever, it's the first time I remember. It's the first time I really remember seeing an Asian person. You know what I mean? It was just the size discrepancy.
Yeah.
Oh, and your dad was a nom too, so I'm sure that.
Oh, my dad has seen plenty of Asian people. Okay. That was not the first Asian person my dad has seen. That was the first one my dad has seen live in a while.
6'9" Nom and he lived?
Brother, He was a LRP. He was Long Range Reconnaissance Patrol.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on the field at 6'9".
Yeah, I mean, he was like one of the guys that like hid in the jungle.
Yeah.
At 6'9". It is, if you look up what LRPs did, dude, LRPs were like they were fucking. They're the guys that surveyed everything. So they like all the Ho Chi Minh trails and shit. They went through all of them.
Dude, I mean, there's probably people in that village that talk about your dad like it's Bigfoot.
To this day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, look, we got a picture of just, is this your dad? Like fuzzy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The big white ape.
He dressed
Yeah.
up like a water buffalo.
There's like
Yeah.
a legend.
That was how he hid.
There's like he's their Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Of a fire breathing.
yeah.
Fire breathing.
He was ginger too, so that makes it perfect. He was ginger as fuck.
Yeah.
I actually got a picture. I'll show you after the
Agent
pod.
Orange. Yeah.
That was his name.
I honestly, my mom's boyfriend was in Nam, so I grew up with a Nam vet, and for the longest time, I thought that Agent Orange was Asian Orange. I thought that's just what it was.
It's not far off.
It made sense to my
Not far
child
off.
brain from
Yeah.
my history. What I knew was correct.
So
You thought that was at Panda Express. I'll take the Asian Orange.
Every time I heard he started saying his hands itched, I was like, my stomach's getting hungry.
Yeah.
Need some chicken.
we were at the airport, and there was this Asian guy, and he was standing in front of my dad. He had not seen my dad. And then he turns around, and he looks, and he did not think anything of it, because I don't think he realized that he looked at a human. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then he stops for a minute, and then he goes really slowly, goes and turns around again. And he's looking like pretty much dead at my dad's belt buckle. And that's just the height discrepancy. This guy's maybe like 4'8", 4'9". And he just looks up like this and just keeps looking up and seeing just a mountain of a ginger.
Yeah.
Okay? A mountain of a ginger. And I guess he'd never seen a human that big. And he pissed himself. He urinated all over himself. And my dad, being the gentle, wonderful giant that he was, he like took his sports coat off, wrapped it around the guy, pretty much like picked him up and like by the like a toddler and carried him to the bathroom and like was handing him paper towels and stuff like that. And he apologizing. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Because my dad knew that it was his presence that did that. And it was a cool thing, like as a kid, you know, to see like my dad just being like that scary of a human that someone pissed themselves.
Yeah.
But also being kind enough to carry an Asian man to the bathroom and clean pee off of him.
All those years of being a bathroom attendant are paying off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he learned in Saigon, but apparently it was compassion.
I don't know. It sounds like the guy that pissed himself might have been a survivor in one of those villages.
Yeah.
He looked up.
He saw the legend.
Oh, fuck, he's back.
It's real. The Boo Yaga.
Yeah, the one person to come back from Nam with like reverse PTSD.
Yeah, he actually terrified the locals.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's stressed about how much he stressed them out.
Yeah.
He's like, man, these people just kept running away from me, yelling, King Kong, King Kong.
Yeah. He's in folk tales for sure.
Yeah.
In the whatever village.
The albino ape.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I remember one time he got in a fight, and it was the only time I ever saw my dad really fight.
Yeah.
And we were getting outside at a Food Lion, a grocery store in Danville, Virginia. My dad this time was walking with a cane because he just had knee surgery. And these three guys, I guess, rolled up on him. And my dad was like, deep voice, real quick, John, stay down. I didn't stay down. I looked up. You know what I mean? I saw three guys rushing my dad.
Yeah.
I look up and I watched the whole thing. And it happened so fast. It was literally over in like probably less than 45 seconds. It happened that fast. He knocked out two men real quick. He just took the cane and like punched him. And the cane hit him and he dropped. And like, I don't think he, like 6'9", 300 pounds is a huge man.
Yeah. There's weight classes for a reason.
There's a lot of force.
Yeah.
And also my dad was an ex-Army Ranger. Like this dude was like legit a badass.
Yeah.
And these three thugs thought they were going to do it. And they did not have the number that night. So my dad hit the first one with a cane. And then he took the cane and like just bopped the second one. It was so fast. It was just boom, boom, like that. And both of them went bloop, bloop. And then the third one's standing there. And he's like, yo, things were different like 10 seconds ago. You know what I mean? He's looking like, oh shit.
Situation's changed.
It's 1v1 now. And this isn't like a normal.
And he's seeing your dad like feel alive for the first time.
My dad's loving it. You know what I mean? My dad's like, all right.
It's like 1968 again.
Yeah. He's like, let's go.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want some? And then the guy was like, no. And just turned around and ran.
Yeah.
And I remember getting out of the car after that and looking at those two unconscious men. And he's like, go inside, call the police, tell the grocery store to call the police. They call the police, round up the two dudes. And I'm like, man, that sucks, dude. To get your ass whooped that quickly and get arrested, that's crazy.
Almost like before they even were able to commit a crime.
I mean,
They committed one by assaulting his dad.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Did they hit him first?
Well, no, they asked for his money. They was like, give us your wallet.
Yeah, that's a verbal threat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Next time I see a homeless person, I'll be like,
It's a verbal threat.
verbal threat.
Can I have $1?
Boom.
Oh,
John
Colt.
Carden said it's okay.
No, Colt, no. I'm not inspiring that, okay?
Yeah, is this stand your ground?
people. There's enough people walking up and down 6th Street with that thought already.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't need me throwing that out there in their mind hole.
Yeah.
Cole, I wonder which one of us is going to get us canceled first now. Is it me or you?
I don't know.
You're getting brave, dude. I'm loving it.
Find out.
I'm loving it.
I have the cutting capability.
Yeah, you do. You have the power of edit.
So
Yeah.
it'll be you.
Why did John say I love Hitler? I didn't. I said there was a love for Hitler. Thanks, Colt.
So did you learn how to ride horses as a kid?
No, I was always terrified of him.
That's so funny, dude.
I had to clean up after him, and
You guys were dorks.
yeah, I had to rake a bunch of horse poop.
Did any of your siblings ride horses?
No.
You guys just had horses.
Yeah,
that nobody rode.
it was purely just my mom. My mom loved riding horses, and
And she's the only one that rode.
yeah.
That's. Oh, I love you, Andrew. You had such.
We're keeping the horses. We're going to Costco.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you didn't eat horse meat.
they so they all shared.
Never
So
gonna
my
go
older
hungry.
brother, my two younger sisters, and my mom, they all like go to like Comic-Cons and conventions and stuff like that and dress up, and that's like kind of their thing. I'm like separate from that. I don't share the enthusiasm. Same with my dad.
Okay, that's interesting. But you dressed up as.
I did one year because I was taller than my brother, so my mom wanted me to be Geralt
That's sweet.
instead of my brother.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
You've got a great family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds pretty nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're all like a very different. Both of my parents are like, how are these even our kids? They're very different than how we grew up.
Sounds like they lucked out.
Well, I think you guys became who they were, or who they are, not who they were. You know, because I think one of the things I've learned in parenting is that you've got to be the change that you want to see.
Yeah.
And you've got to lead from the front. In order to lead from the front, you got to do so with action.
Yeah.
And you can't lead with words from the front.
Yeah.
You can only lead with action. And so it seems like they led with their interests and their actions being their interests.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing. You know, I think that's cool when you can have shared interests as your parents and you have a way to bond with them always.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I have like some music shared stuff with my dad, but we listen to mostly different things. And then like he's really into cars and I'm not. And
Do you have any siblings that are into cars?
no,
He's into that solo. So
Yeah.
your mom's just riding horses by herself and your dad's just fixing cars.
by himself. Yeah. Well, like my dad didn't get me into
Dino
fixing
nuggets.
cars because when he was growing up, he had a smog license when he was 16 and he was a crazy guy. So he had like all this independence. He could fix cars. He could get up and go anywhere. He's like, well, I don't want my kids to have like this because I feel like it held me back. Because in his mind, the high paying jobs were like lawyer, doctor, office stuff.
Yeah.
But if he had known that we were just going to be a bunch of like reclusive, like shut in guys, like, yeah, I should have got you into cars. I should have, you know.
I want to ask you this because I want to ask this question to a lot of people that had good parents.
Yeah.
I'm trying to send the address to the next guest. Sorry. But the thing I want to ask you is, you've got good parents.
Yeah.
Do you think you're a good son?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think makes you a good son?
We keep in touch a lot. We hang out. They've always been supportive of the comedy thing, and now I'm like finally making enough to where, you know, I can buy my dad gifts, I can buy my mom gifts, and
That's pretty dope.
yeah.
What have you bought your mom that you was like happy to buy her?
Well, I was just happy to take her out to dinner. I was
Okay.
never able to do that before, but the past few months have been really good. So I was like, oh well, let me
doing well.
let me take my mom out to dinner. Wasn't able to do that. When I visited last, I was escaping the freeze here.
Okay.
So I made a last minute trip back home. And when I got to my house, my mom answered the door. I surprised her and she's in tears. And I'm like, what's going on here? She goes, oh, Andrew, you're just in time. We just put the dog down.
Oh man.
So the vet had just left. So my dog is just dead on the table.
Andrew.
I'm like, what the?
Oh
I feel like
man.
the Grim Reaper walking in there.
Yeah. So I got to comfort my mom. That was really cool. I got to give her a hug and be there.
Yeah.
For her.
I mean,
and then I got
Jesus.
to do the last thing you get to do for somebody you love, and that's bury him.
Yeah, you're right.
So that was cool, but definitely I was like, I did not expect my first thing to do in San Diego would be to bury my dog. It's been a long time. She was 18 and like had a lot of health problems.
18's old for a dog. I
Yeah,
mean,
That's really old.
yeah, she could vote.
Well, we had we had another dog, got so old, blind and deaf.
Yeah.
So he's just bouncing around the house like a Roomba.
Dude, my friend had a dog named Fitz. Shout out to Dave in Phoenix. I love you, buddy. He had this dog named Fitz, and it was blind, deaf, and arthritic. So it could barely move. But this thing was
That's called furniture.
It was the sweetest dog.
Yeah.
It was still the sweetest dog. It would find its way to you. It would lay down right beside you. And then you would just pick it up, take it outside to use the bathroom. It would use the bathroom. You pick it up, take it back in, and lay back down. He's just like old as shit, but still cool dog. You know? It's a great dog.
Yeah, it sucks when they get so sick that they like lose their personality.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, same for humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah, we had like 6 rat terriers growing up, and that was the last of them. So I've said goodbye to a lot of dogs.
Are your grandparents still alive?
No. My last
parents are
grandfather
older.
just died. He was 96.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
96 years old?
Oh yeah. Old.
He was born in the 20s.
Yeah. He joined the military the first year they desegregated it. And he remembers, he's like, oh yeah, the city blacks were way cooler than the country blacks. It might have been the other way around, but you know, that was, I'm forgetting.
He probably did too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was,
Yeah.
on his 90th birthday, I asked him how it felt, and he said it felt like overtime. And then he lived for 6
That's
more
such
years.
a great answer.
Yeah.
What did it feel like? Overtime, dude. I'm playing with house money at this point, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I made it to 90, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, let's drink and fucking fornicate.
He's like, yeah, I wouldn't have taken such good care of myself had I known I was going to live to 96.
Yeah, I think I would have had a few more shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if I make it past 80, Colt, do me in.
You got it.
Thank you, buddy.
But yeah, I didn't realize people had, you know, now like me, people's parents or their grandparents are the age of my parents.
Right.
So I didn't realize how late it was. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I have a similar thing. My parents are older. My dad was 44 when he had me, and my mom was 34. So yeah, my dad's 71 now.
geez.
Yeah. So I totally relate to that.
It feels bad, you know, now your dad's got like hearing aids and it's like, darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Age is catching up.
My dad, he's aged like a fine wine. Like he only started getting gray like 5 years ago, and he still has a full head of black hair with just like a little bit of gray. But the hardest thing was like the running. You know, he already had like a bad knee, but not
Yeah.
being able to run with your dad. Once you're like, you know, you can compete.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of sucks. So it's like he would dominate me in basketball whenever I was a kid. Then by the time that I could really like, you know, do some moves, he was like,
But do you
An
think
old
your
guy.
dad would dominate you in basketball? My dad was the same size as the hoop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like scoring on my dad was damn near impossible. Had to be Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
To score on my father.
My dad looked like Colonel Sanders from when I've known him. His hair's always been all white, like not no little gray, just pure white. And I wish I had that. It'd be so cool if this was just like.
Well, yours is you got some natural salt and pepper.
It's
in
salt
there.
and pepper, but like
You got the Clooney thing.
when he was my age, it was all silver, and I'm
Gere.
like, dude, that
Richard
would be.
Gere.
Richard Gere.
you got
yeah.
a Richard Gere thing going on. And that's a good
Clooney
thing. to
had
have
it too,
going on.
though.
He does. Yeah.
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 Yeah, Clooney.
Yeah, I need something to make me look older. Jesus.
Yeah, you do have a baby face.
Oh man, this is terrible.
You got a baby face
I've looked
for
like
sure.
a kid for forever. I need a little teeny tiny mustache just to make me look like I'm over the age of 21.
He starts dyeing his hair gray.
I'm just glad like my hairline's pulling back a little. I just need something to. If I still had a full hairline and I shaved this, I would still look like I'm 12 years old.
You really would, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get asked all the time if I would go to Turkey and do the hair transplants. And at this point, I've said it a billion times. I'm closer to doing laser hair removal and just giving up, you know, completely on having hair
Yeah.
than I am to go to. I have pride, and maybe pride's the wrong thing,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to sit on that flight on the way back with all those other dudes that are there to try to make themselves more appealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. I can talk. I got blue eyes and a beard. And you know what? As long as I don't need hair to attract anyone or feel better about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people do. Some people need that optic, that visualization of them having hair in order to feel better about themselves. I just don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't. Now the beard, that's different. All right. I'll get rid of this when I'm dead. This isn't coming off.
Yeah.
Or if we get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
If we get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube,
Up to you.
and if we get, no, I want 10,000 if I'm going to shave my beard. We get 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, I will shave my beard live.
50,000, he's getting that hair transplant.
But if the fans like you.
And we're documenting it.
Oh, yeah. The hair transplant at 50K, that'd be hilarious.
I don't think anybody's, I think everybody would stop at 49,000 because they like me bald. But then you've got those fucking
He'll
nihilists.
get the hair transplanted to his ears.
No, that's where I want the laser hair removal, dude. It's fucking it's that furry over there. I used to look at my grandpa, man, and I see that as a kid, and he had the witch's broom coming out of his ear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I hope that doesn't happen to me. And sure enough,
It starts.
starts to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the things that you don't want from your grandparents and your parents are the things you end up getting. That was a dark, I don't know why it got negative. Anyway, we always close this up really simply. And the way we close this up is if you have one piece of parenting advice to give to any parent out there raising a kid based on your own personal childhood, what do you think that piece of advice would be?
I mean, there was one time where my dad got like really mad at me, and I forget about what, but he took me out of school the next day and brought me to the arcade.
Wait, your dad,
He got really mad at me about something.
yeah.
I forget what that was about. He took me out of school and brought me to the arcade like the next day. He's like, hey, I feel bad about.
To make amends.
Yeah. And just making somebody feel good about something. Like I've totally forgotten whatever it was that he like felt bad about.
You had great parents, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so awesome. I love when this podcast turns into that. I love when like we have these episodes where people actually had great parents because we need great examples. All the things you said, about your mom being present and like, taking time and investing her time into doing things for her kids and like, the pirate wagon and dressing you guys up as pirates.
I look at that and I go, man, it's like,
yeah.
Like that is such a special moment.
And then your dad out there fixing cars by himself.
Well, he didn't give me it. It's so funny. It's like my buddy who's like into cars, like did a show that my dad like produced. And he goes like, oh yeah, he's He's like showing him his Camaro. And like my buddy's like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, oh yeah, you think this is cool? And he's like, yeah. And then he goes, Andrew couldn't give a shit.
He goes, who gives it a Ford or a Honda Accord? They did give a shit
And
less.
then my dad was like, oh, you haven't even asked to drive it. I'm like, it didn't even occur to me that was like an option. And that you would feel like good about that. I always felt like that was yours and that you wouldn't want me to drive it. But
Have you driven it?
I think I'm going to ask the next time I visit.
You should, man. Send pictures.
But my dad, one thing that he, that I aspire to be, he was always there for his people. Mm-hmm. So he had a best friend that was dying of cancer, and when he got that call, he like flew because he like lived in Phoenix, I think.
Yeah.
Flew there and like was there at the hospital like the next day, like without asking. And
damn. So
when I
your dad's
got
like
my
a loyal
nose,
dude.
yeah, when I was getting my nose fixed, I had a deviated septum. I told him that, and he was like, "Well, just let me know when that is, and I'll come out and I'll fill your fridge and take you to and from the appointment." And
Dude,
Yeah, that's a parent.
Yeah.
That's a
Having
parent right
present parents that actually, give a shit is so it sucks that it's rare.
yeah, but and now that I've like talked to other people and I hear like what their parents were like, I'm like, oh my God, thank God I had that, because I did not have friends growing up. That was my problem.
Yeah.
Great family, people did not like me. Well, I was a tall, pasty, fat ogre. Like it was gross. It was like 6 foot at 13 and just chunky. And
Is that why you work out so hard now? Because I know you're in the gym a lot.
at 19, I had high blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
But they were like, yeah, you're so young. We don't want to put you on meds. And like hard stuff runs in my family.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I guess I just got to exercise forever.
Yeah. And you do. You're in the gym a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's a great way to end this. With Dad being a great guy.
Yeah.
This, like I said, I want all the episodes like this we can get, man, because we need as many good examples, into parenting that we can possibly get. And it's funny how you don't see it as a success story, mainly, maybe, but I absolutely see, your parents have been successful parents.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to say that. This bit I'm working on, and I want to build it into an hour, but it's the difference between parents and people that have kids.
Yeah.
There's a big difference,
Oh, yeah.
but a lot of subtle differences too. And I really want to explore that.
Yeah.
And it seems like you didn't have people that had kids, man. You had parents, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Let them know where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Instagram at the Tar Pit, TheTarrPit. I'll be in San Diego, March 12th to the 14th. On the 12th, I'll be at Mike Trout Comedy Club opening up for our buddy Asan Ahmad. And on the 13th and 14th, I'll be at the Madhouse Comedy Club.
Shout out to Hillary and Casey, Mic Drop. Love you guys. I've known them for probably like a decade now.
Yeah.
They were Phoenix people, and now they own all the Mic Drops. And I could not be happier for their success. And, Detroit's going to open soon. They've got Plano now, San Diego, Chandler. They're growing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for that chain. I'm glad you're performing there.
Yeah.
I'll tell Hillary you're going to be there, and you're a friend of mine. She'll take care of you. That place it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this has been another episode of Tammy's Boy. You know where to find me, and if you don't, go looking. You'll figure it out. And this has been one of my. This has been like a wholesome episode, man. I can't this episode made me happy. Like I feel better about life.
Got horses, Costco, the recession.
dude.
What more can you want?
Yeah.
Horses, Costco, and present
Railroad
parents.
money.
Railroad money, yeah. Your great grandpappy was a tycoon.
Dude, I've got like journals from my family like during Prohibition that they would go down to Tijuana because it was still legal to drink in Mexico.
God, your family rips.
Yeah.
Man, if your family like came into that money like 30 years prior, you'd be having some real severe white guilt.
Yeah.
Right at the nick of time. Good job.
Yeah, there's a lot of like family history stuff, and now I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna have a big enough house to keep all of this, so I gotta find a museum to donate some of this shit to. So I have an 1890s Chicago report card from high school.
Who's
one
this?
of your family?
Like, yeah, I'm like a great grandfather or something like that. And I'm like, man, I don't have my report card from high school.
I thought you had like, for a minute, I thought you had like Al Capone's high school report card. And I'm like,
no.
It's all D's.
A in economics. Yeah. You know, he might have done terrible things, but they were still great,
They were moving units.
buddy. And they were driving from like the Jersey Shore, like the boardwalk, all the way to Chicago in trucks during the winter that didn't have like any heat and didn't have windows and shit. So you got to think about that. And they can only go like 30 to 40 miles an hour. That's crazy. That's a Herculean mission, driving through the winter in Illinois in a truck with no heat.
Where's that Oregon Trail game?
You have died of consumption. You have died of consumption again. You have frozen to death and died of consumption.
Yeah, your dick froze off as you were trying to get roadhead.
From the consumption.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of Tammy's Boy. Keep doing what you're doing, liking, sharing, subscribing, and we'll keep doing what we're doing, trying to make this the best damn podcast in the whole world.
Damn right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I've been John. This is Tammy's Boy.